So hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and we are currently learning Ultimate Python course from beginner to advanced. So if you are a complete beginner or want to improve your skills in Python, then this course is for everyone. And now in this course we will master Python with the help of some projects and some practice interviews questions after each topic. So now if you want to master Python, then this is the perfect playlist for you. You can visit this playlist and you will get its link in description box. You can check out. And the best part of this playlist is after each topic we are making some great projects and we are practicing some interviews questions also. Here also you can see this functions, and we are making 3 projects in this tutorial, right? And we are practicing some questions also. In this sets also we are making a project. In this dictionary also, this is the dictionary tutorial and its project is this contact management system. Okay, this is the tapas tutorial where we are making a project. This is the string we are making a project, right? Here also we are making a game, rock paper and scissor game. You can watch this tutorial. Here also we are making a project, Python password validation. In loops also we are making a project, right? In conditional statements also we are making a game using Python. And in this tutorials also we are making some projects. And I can guarantee you, if you follow this complete playlist and after completing this Python course, you can make great projects by yourself. So you will get its complete playlist link in the description box and the tutorials link in the description box. You can check out. So now without wasting any further time, let's continue our Python series. So now our next topic is file IO. What does this file IO means? File IO full form is input and output. So by the name you can understand that we will work with the help of files, right? So here it's written, file IO allow your Python program to interact with files. You can read a file, write a file, append a file, delete a file. Yes. So for example, if a file is in text form, either .txt or this .py, this is also a text, right? Yes, I have given the name .py so that our code compiler can understand that this code is Python. Okay, but it is in text form, right? So what are you doing? You are storing this complete text in a file, right? So similarly, with the help of file IO, you can create a file or delete a file or update the text which is written in that file. Okay, or delete a file, right? So if I give you another example, and that is, you tell me that if I write a code here and my code is print, and here I am printing Priyanshi Rathore. Okay, so now you tell me, when I will run this code, this Priyanshi Rathore will be stored temporarily or permanently here. You tell me, this Priyanshi Rathore is stored temporarily or permanently. If permanently, so then if I kill this terminal, you can find Priyanshi Rathore anywhere, but you cannot find it. Okay, so that's why it is stored temporarily. Okay, but if you want to store some text kind of data, you can create a file and you can store that. See here, file.io.py. Here I am creating a file and here I am storing this text type of data. If I cancel this, okay, if I cancel this and if I again reopen this file or folder, then I can find this text. Okay, but if I tell you that I am running this code, can you find this output? No, you cannot find it. That's why it is temporarily and this type of data is permanently. So the conclusion of this explanation is, if you want to store a text type of data, you have to create a file. Okay, so now the another example is, so if you see a screenshot or if you watch a video or you listen to audio, tell me that is it stored temporarily or permanently? On internet, if you're watching that, it is stored temporarily. So if you want to store a video or an image or audio, so what you will do? You will download that image or video or audio in some type of file format, right? If you are downloading a screenshot, what you will do? You will store it in the PNG. Okay, you will store it in the PNG or JPEG form, right? If you are storing a audio, you can store it in the MP3 or MP4 format, right? So similarly, if you are storing a text type of data, you can store it in .txt or .csv or .html, .css or .py, right? So now we will see the next thing. Okay. One more thing, there are 2 types of files, and that is, first is text file, which I have told you, that can be stored in txt, csv, right? And the second is binary files. What does this binary files means? Binary files means that cannot be a readable bytes. Yes, you don't think that it is not storing it in the binary form. No, in our system each and every data is stored in binary form only, means 0 and 1 form, right? But we cannot read that file, means these are images, audio or video, so you cannot read them, right? But the txt form you can read that. That's why we are dividing files into two types or two categories, that is text files and second is binary files, right? So now we will jump to our next thing in our file IO, and that is this is the diagram of our file IO process. Okay, what does this mean? Don't worry, I will explain you in the most easiest way. See here how we will write our code or how we will use the logic for file IO. Let's see. That is, first you have to write the Python script, and that is very easy, I will explain you. And the second is you have to open the file. Yes, the most important thing is whenever you will write the code for file IO, the first step will be you have to first open the file. First you will open that file, then you will apply any operation. If you want to read that file or write that file or delete that file or update that file, after that you will do that. Okay, and at the end you have to close also that file. Okay, so now our next is, we have seen the temporary storage. So now we will see operations on our files, and that is our first operation is we want to open and read a file. How we will open and read a file? Let's see. So see here, its syntax is, first you have to write a open. What does this open mean? This open is a predefined or pre-built code in our Python, and we are just using by its name, right? Now inside parenthesis, first you have to pass the file name, which file you want to read or write or delete or append, right? So that file name, then comma, and then you have to pass the mode. What does this mode mean? See here, these are the mode. First, if you want to read a file, then you have to write the R. In the place of mode, you have to write R. That means you are reading a file, right? If you want to write a file, so for example, for writing the file, if Priyanshi is written in a file, right? And if you want to write a file, means you want to remove this Priyanshi and you want to only write here Python, right? So this W will delete that or remove that Priyanshi and it will add Python there. Okay. But if you want that this Priyanshi should be also there, and Python you want to add or append, then you can use this A, right? And in the place of this mode, you have to write this A. Okay. Now the next mode is create fails if exist. Yes, I'll show you that. And now if you want to open a file in a binary mode, then you have to write this B. See here, if you are opening a file, for example, if you are opening a file in the text form, means text form, then you don't have to write anything. But if you want to open in binary, then you have to write. How? Let me show you. First, we will create a simple example and then I will show you these advanced operations, right? So if I tell you that you have to open a file, then you have to simply write open here. Okay. Now inside parenthesis, first you have to write the file name. Okay, so for the file name I have to create a new file, and here I am creating a new file and I am giving its name sample text. Any name you can give. Okay, sample dot text, because I am creating for text, that's why. And I'll just copy this name. Yes, in file.io. Now I want to open this file, so I will simply write here sample.txt, right? File name, then comma, and then the mode. I just want to read it. Okay, so I will just write R here. Okay, and now I am opening this file. Okay, if you want to open a binary mode, then you have to write this R and B. Okay, if you are opening a text type of file, means, so this sample.txt is a text type of file, but by default our Python or our code editor knows that it will open a text file only default, so there is no need to write this R and T. It will simply open text type of file. But if you want to open a binary, then you have to write this R and B, right? Now the next is text 40. There is no need. If you will write, it will not show error, but there is no need to write this R and T. Now the next is plus is for read and write. Yes. So now we will create a code for opening a file and reading that file, right? So how? Let's see. So for that, first you have to write with, then this is the syntax of this, then open, because we are opening a file. Which file we are opening? We are opening this sample.txt, right? Now I want to read this file. I want to read this file, so it will simply read it. Okay. Now as, and it is a file, that's why I'm writing here f. Okay. And after that it will close also. And now I'm creating a variable. Okay. Why? For example, a text is written in this file. I'll just write a text also, and that is, I am Priyanshi and I teach coding on YouTube. Right. So I have written this text. Now I will come here, and that is file.io. And now, so I am telling my code editor that this file means sample.txt, whatever text is written in this file, right? You read the text, you read that text. Whom text? File text. That's why I'm writing here F. You read the text and you store that text type of data in this content variable which I am creating here. Okay. And after that you can print, so that I can know that our code have read that text. Which text? Which is stored in this content variable. And now I will run this code. See here. Whatever data is written in this simple.txt, it will show in terminal. So now I'm running this code. See here, I am Priyanshi and I teach coding on YouTube. See here, I am writing code in this file, means in file.io, but it is fetching this data, means it is fetching this text data. Okay, and it's showing in this terminal, right? So means it is reading that. I hope you understood this, that how to read a file. First, you have to open that file. Which file? Which I am writing here, whose name I am writing here, that is simple.txt. Means first it is opening this. Now it is reading this file. Okay, because I have written here R mode. Okay, as a file, and then it will close after this operation. Then I'm creating a variable. Here it is reading a file, and that is sample.txt. It is reading this complete text. Okay. And now this complete text is storing in this content variable, right? And after that I am printing this content variable. And in content this was stored. So that's why it is showing in terminal, right? So I hope you understood. So now next question is, if you want to write to a file. Yes. First we were only reading that file, right? But if you want to write a file, so that for that you have to write code with the same syntax we will follow, and that is with, then we will first open the file. Which file? Sample.txt, right? Then comma, and then the mode I am writing here W, because I want to write the file, that's why I am writing here W. And as, and F for file, right? And after that I want to write the file, that's why file dot write I am using here, and inside this parenthesis I will pass the text which I want to write in the sample.txt file, that is, this is a test message. Okay, I have written here. Now see here what it is previously. I am Priyanshi and I teach coding on YouTube, right? Now I will run this code and let's see what it will show. See here, it's not showing anything in the terminal. Why? Because first we were reading that file. So our code editor was giving us a proof that I am reading this. You see in the terminal. But currently it's writing. Means it have written this. This is a text message when I run this code in this file. See here. Now it's showing this is a text message. Previously it was showing I am Priyanshi and I teach coding on YouTube. Now it is showing this is a text message, right? Means it have updated our code. Now tell me, what is the difference of this W and append? I'll tell you. See here, whenever you use this W, means W mode, write mode, it will remove the previous text. It will remove the previous text, whatever it was written here, and it will update the text and add the new one, right? If you want that this previous text should be also there, and with that a new text should also add here. So then you have to use the append, right? You have to use the append here. So now we will use append here. I'm just removing it because currently its answer is this. I hope you understood this right part. Now I will use append here and I will show how to use it. Let's see. First we have to write here with, then we will open a file, and then the file name is this, sorry, sample.txt, right. Now comma, now I am appending it. Okay, I am not writing it. If you write that text, then it will remove the previous one and it will add the new one. So here I am appending it, means the previous code will be also there and the new code will join that previous code, right? So for that, as f I am writing here, and then in the next line I will write here f dot, right only I will use here, and then n. What does this slash n means? Means the next line, and this is the new text I am writing here. See here, previously it was showing this. Now I will run this code, and now let's see what it will show. See here, this is a test message and a new text is also joined here, and that is, this is the new text. I have written here slash n, that's why it's joining in the next line. Okay, if I remove this slash n, then it will join at the same line. Now I'll run this code. See here, now again, because it have joined previously, that's why now again it is joining. Okay, so I hope you understood how this W and A mode work. Now we will jump to our next question in this. So now our next question, and that is read line by line. Means this is our sample.txt file, right? And if you want to read this line by line, then it will print this line by line in the terminal. But if you apply some of the extra spaces here, see here, then it will remove the extra spaces. Okay, let's see how and in which condition it will remove that space. So for that, I have to simply write the if, then open inside this sample.txt, then R, then S, and then F. Okay, then for line, here I am using the for loop, and that is for line in and F, so that it can iterate on the each of the line. Okay, if there is 2 line also, or if there is 10 line also, it can iterate on all. Then I will print here directly, and inside the parenthesis I am writing here line dot strip. So it will strip method will remove all the extra spaces. Okay, and this for will iterate on each of the line. And now I'll run this code. See here, it's showing this, and let me show you what I have written here. See here, it have removed all the extra spaces before. Okay, because it is calculating as a valid space. Okay, but initially if you apply a space before the text, then it will remove that, it will strip out that. Again I will run this code, and let's see. See here, again it is removing. I am adding space here also in first line also, but it is removing in first line also and in second line also. Okay, so I hope you understood. So now next question is, we have to read lines into a list. Okay, so it will convert our lines to a list. How? Let's see. With, then open, right, and then inside the parenthesis sample.txt, right, then comma, then R. Okay, and then as file, and then I am creating a variable, and here lines, it's its name, and whatever data it will read, and the lines it will read, it will store in this. Okay, so now I will print this. So inside the parenthesis I am passing the lines. Yes, so now it will convert these lines into our list. See here, this is our line. Okay, now I will run this code. See here, it's passing and it is showing as a list. How you can see that it is a list? Because inside this square bracket, I have already taught you list in our list tutorial. If you have not watched, you will get its link in description box. You can check out. And we have already learned what is the difference of tuples, list and dictionaries. We have also made few projects also on that tutorial. So you will get its link in description box. Please check out. So now see here. This is our first line. See here. This is our first line. Then it is writing a comma, means it is converting into a list. Okay, then this line, and with that this line, and see here, this is stored in a single quote, means inside the square bracket a list is created, which I have already taught you in our tuples tutorial and list tutorial, how tuples are created, how lists are created. So now our next question is, see here, first, if you want to write a code and that is not working properly, either you have written a name of a file and that does not exist or something else, so then it will show a red type of error in your terminal. And if you don't want that, you can simply write that file not found. Okay, how you will write that? Let's see. See here, first you have to write the try. Okay, then it will try to check this, and then you will write the usual code which we were writing till now, that is open. Then I am giving a name of a file which does not exist, and let's see, file.txt I am giving its name, but we have simple.txt, but I have given here file.txt, and I am telling that you have to read this as f. Okay, now I am telling that you can print this f dot read. Okay, so it will show as terminal, that our code editor will show as a proof that I am reading this, right? So for that, so now we will practice some questions, and our first question is, program to read a file and count the words. What does this mean? See here, I have a file and that is sample.txt, and I am writing some text here, that is, you are watching Priyanshi Rathore Python course, right? So now tell me how many words are there in this. Okay, this you is our first word, R is second, watching is third, Priyanshi is fourth, right? R is fifth, Python is sixth, and course is seventh. Mean total 7 words are there. So we have to write a program that can count the text which you have written in your file and how many words are there. It can count that. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 7 words are there. So now we will write code for this, and for this we have to write the similar code, and that is with, then we will open the file, because first we have to open the file, right? Then I will write the file name, and that is sample.txt, then comma, then r, and then as f, that is file, right? And now see here, I want to read a file, so I am writing here f dot read. Okay, I am using this dot read method which is already pre-written in Python, and now I will store this data in a variable. Why I am storing this? Obviously I have to store, if I am reading something, okay, so I have to store in some variable so that our compiler or terminal can show that data or give a proof that yes, I am reading this, so that we can understand that yes, our code is working properly and our code data have read that content or that text, right? So for that I am storing here. And for example, if you're writing something, okay, if you want to write some data in this file sample.txt, there's no need to store in a variable, because it will directly write here. Okay, it will give us a proof that this code is working properly, but currently we are reading, that's why I am storing it in a variable. I hope you understood this part. So now after that I will create another variable, and that is words. Here it will store the counting of the words, right? First our code will count the words and then it will store here so that it can print in terminal. So text dot split. Why split? I'll show you. 1 minute. Yes. So now I'm using dot split and now I will print this, the counting of the words. So total words are okay, and now then comma, and then len means it will count the length of the words, that is 7. So it will count each and every word and it will give the length of your complete paragraph or data which is stored in your txt file. Okay, now what does this split mean? See here how this code is running in backend. I'll explain you each and everything from starting. See here, first it is opening our file and that is sample.txt. Okay, then it will read. Okay, and it will read this. You are watching Priyanshi Rathore Python course and it will store in this text variable, right? Now I am telling my code editor that you do one thing, whatever data is stored in the text, this data is stored in the text, you split that data. What does this split mean? It will split each and every word from here, means you will be separated, R will be separated, watching will be separated, Priyanshi will be separated, R will be separated, Python will be separated, and course will be separated, right? So now it will separate each and every word, okay, from that paragraph. So now it will start counting the word by using len method, right? So it will count, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, and then it will print here total words. So now I will run this code. See here, it's showing total words, that is 7. Yes, our code is working properly, right? So now I will comment out this part. So now our next question is, we have to write a program to copy content from one file to another. For example, we have a file, right, sample.txt. Now I want to copy the data which is written here to another file. So for that I have to create another file, right? So I'll create one more file and that is second sample.txt, right? Currently it's empty. Okay, so now I will write code for this, and for this we have to write the same thing, okay, with then open, and then inside the parenthesis I have to write my first file from where I have to copy the content, and that is inside inverted commas sample.txt, right? And then R because for read, right? And as, and then our first file name, and that is sample. Okay, now I am creating a variable and that is content. Here whatever data is written in my sample.txt, it will read it and it will store in this content, right? So for that, sample dot now read. Okay, and now I will write code for another file from where I have written and to where I want to copy. That also I have to write here. So for that I am writing here with, then here I am writing open, and inside this I will write its name, and that is second sample.txt, right? Because I want to copy my content here. And now I will write w, that is right, and as, and then I am writing its name, that is second sample, right? And now colon, and after that I will write the name again, and that is our second sample, right? So I will write here second sample, and after that I will write dot right here, dot right. We are directly writing here, that's why I'm not storing inside any variable. If I am reading then I have to store. Okay, I am directly printing in this file, means second sample.txt, so it will directly write here, right? So there is no need to store it in a variable, and here I will directly write the content which I want to copy here, which is stored in this content variable. That's why I'm writing here content, right? After that I will print, and in terminal it will show if this code works and it copies the content from first file to another, then it will show content copied successfully, right? Successfully. Okay, and now I will run this code. See here, currently it's empty and here text is present, and now this text will be copy here, right? So now I will run this code. See here, it's showing content copied successfully. Okay, now I will see here. See here, it's showing the same content which it was here. Initially it was empty, right? I have showed you, and now it is showing the same content which it was here. Okay, so now our code is giving correct output, right? So now we will jump to our next question. So now our next question is, we have to write a program to delete a file if it exists. If it exists, then you have to delete that file. So if I want to delete the second sample.txt file, okay, so how we will delete it? So let's see. We will write code for this. First you have to import OS. What does this OS means? OS means operating system. Similarly, we are importing this module so that we can use the inbuilt code which Python already have, right? For write, read, delete or update. That's why we are using OS here. Okay, so now I am creating a variable, and that is file name, and here the file which you want to delete, it will store. So I want to delete the second sample dot txt. Okay, so it is storing this. Now I will write the condition. My first condition will be if os dot means if this file exists in our system. Okay, dot path dot exist. Okay, dot exist, and which file exists? The file which is present in our file name variable. That's why I'm giving its file name. Okay, if it exists, then you do one thing, and that is you remove it. Okay, os dot remove. And which file you have to remove? The file name variable, the file which is stored in the file name variable, right? Okay, so now I will print this. Yes, and it's showing file detected, right? Now it's correct. Okay, and in the else part I will write here, else is print if this file does not exist. In the else part you have to write that condition. If this file does not exist, then you can directly print that file does not exist. Does not exist. Okay, see here, initially this file is there. Here also you can see here this file is there. When I will run this code, it will remove that file, right? So now I will run this code. See here, it's showing cancel and it removed the file from here, right? So I hope you understood how to delete a file. So now we will create a mini project, and that is we have to create a simple note taking app. Means if a student want to store some notes in that, it can store. Okay, so for that we have to create some features in our app. Obviously, I'll give you a tip. Whenever you create a mini project or a major project or a website or an app, first you have to keep the things in mind, and that is what are the features you have to create for the user. From the user perspective, you have to think, right? So how many features we have to give here? I'm creating a mini project, so that's why I will give two features, and that is first it can add the notes, and second it can read the notes. Okay, so for that I will create a while loop here. We have already learned while loop and for loop and functions, dictionaries, recursion. If you have not watched that tutorial, you will get its link in description box. You can watch that. And we have also created major projects, and we have also practiced some of the questions in each tutorial. So you can watch that tutorial. Okay, you will get its link in description box. So now I am creating a while loop, and that is while, and I'm writing the condition that if this condition is true, then only this part of code will run. Obviously, like this only we create loops. I have taught you in the loops tutorial. And then I'm writing here print. This part will show in terminal to the user initially. Okay. And here next line, for the next line I'm writing here slash n, and now I'm giving that if user select 1, then it means he or she want to add note. Okay, if he or she want to add note, then he should select 1, right? Then the next line, and then if user select 2, that means he or she want to read note. Okay, or I will write notes here, not note. Okay, notes. And if user selects 3, then he or she want to exit. Yes, so I have written 3 conditions here, okay, for the mini project. So now I have to create a variable for the choices so that user can select either 1, either 2, either 3, and this choices will be stored in our choice variable. So for that I'm creating here choice, and here whatever user will give input, it will store here. So choose. Okay, okay, I have not applied this inverted commas, that's why. Okay, so now it's correct. And now I will write the condition, and that is first condition will be if user choice, if user choice is equals to 1. Okay, then you do one thing, you can add the notes, add note, right? This is the function name which we have not created yet. I will create this and I will teach you also, but I am currently writing here so that you can understand that what will be the conditions here. So the first condition will be if user select 1, then this function will run. Whatever code we will write in this function, this will run. Okay, here we will write the logic for adding the nodes. Okay, now the second condition will be elif, I am writing here, and that is if choice is equals to 2, then you do one thing, you can read the notes, read notes. Okay, and this is also our second function which we will create for the read. Okay, and here we will write logic for read, right? Now the third is if user selects 3, means user choice is equals to 3, then you can exit. So I will write here break, you can break here, you can exit from here. And else if user selects 4, 5, 6 or 1000 or 10,000, okay, anything, then this part of code will run, and that is it will show invalid choice. Okay, so for that I'm writing here print invalid choice, or try again, you can write. Okay, so we have written our code. It's showing error because now we have to create our function, and that we will create here. So our first function will be add node. Okay, so def, then I am giving its name add node, and then I will write the logic here, and that is, see here, if node, I am creating a variable here, and here it will store the node whatever user will give. For example, if I am giving this line in the notes, okay, or if I give the Python code or HTML code or CSS code or JS code, okay, so it will store in this node variable. Okay, so this is for the storing the nodes. Then input, because user is giving the input, that's why enter your nodes, obviously. And now the next line will be with the similar syntax. Open, you do one thing, now you open a file, okay, and here you will store all the nodes which user will get. So I have already told you that if you don't store the data, if you directly run this code and you don't store the data, it will not store permanently, it will be stored temporarily. If you want to store permanently, then you have to create a file. So for that storing the nodes, we will create a file, and that is notes.txt. so you do one thing, notes.txt you open. Okay, and now I will create a file, and its name will be notes.txt. Yes, now we have created. Initially it's empty, but we will store some of the data here. Okay, and now A. Why A? Because it will append the notes. For example, if I write here W, okay, so what it will do? If you give one line of note, it will store, and when you will give another line or another paragraph, it will remove this and it will add that. Okay, but we want that previous note should be also there, and now we are giving the new notes that will be also there, means it will append the notes with the previous one. That's why I'm writing here A. Okay, and now as F. Okay, now I will write here F dot write, because it will write in that, but it will first append and then it will write. Okay, so and now I am giving the variable where all notes will be saved, plus slash n, so that it will store in the next line, not in that line. Okay, it's showing error because of this slash n. Okay, I hope you understood this part. And now it can print in the terminal for our convenience. Okay, so that it will print in the terminal that notes saved or note saved. Okay, now we have created this our first function. Now we will create our second function, and that will be for the read notes. So here I will create my second function, and that is def my second function name and colon. Okay, now I will write the logic for the second function, and that will be with open similar code. Okay, then notes dot txt. Okay, because here only it will read the note and it will show. Okay, and then r sf, then colon, and then notes. Notes is a variable where it will store the notes which it will read and it will show. Okay, I have initially only in the practice question I have told you that whenever you are using the read, you have to store somewhere, but if you are using the write, means if you are writing something in a file, there's no need to store it in a variable, but for the read it is compulsory. So that's why then f dot read line. Read line because if there are multiple lines, so that it can read each and every line. Okay, that's why. Then print, then your notes, it will show like this. Okay, so now I am using here for loop, so that if there are multiple lines, it can iterate on each of the line and it can show each and every data, right? So for that, for note in notes print f, then and inside the curly braces I'm writing here note, the note which is already stored in your file. Okay, the notes which are already stored in the file, you can strip that. What does this strip means? A strip means it will simply remove the extra spaces. If you have applied only that thing, it will do, otherwise it will not do anything. Okay, only it will remove the extra spaces. Parenthesis also, don't forget this. If you are using the pre-built code or pre-written code method, you have to use this parenthesis after that. Okay, so now we have written our complete code, and now I will run this code. This is for the add, this is for the read, right? And initially it will ask the user that you select 1, 2 or 3 or any number. So see here, it's showing that add note, read notes or exit note. What you will select, 1, 2 or 3. So if I want to add note, that is 1. See here, initially it is empty. Now it will store this, whatever we will give as input. 1 means I want to add notes. Okay, so now I will give note, and that is Priyanshi Rathore is a coder and designer. Okay, so if I'm writing this, now I will enter this and it will store in that notes. See here, it is showing that note saved. Now we will see. See here, Priyanshi Rathore is a coder and a designer, it's showing, right? So now I will write another code So now I want to create another node. Okay, again I will select one only. Okay, and now I will store that I and now I will store that Priyanshi create coding as well as fashion designing videos. Okay, and now enter. Sorry, well, spelling is wrong. Okay, so now enter. See here, it's showing that note saved. Now we will see. See here, it is storing in next line, not the similar line, in the next line, because we have written here. Okay, because we have written here. In the next line you have to save. That's fine. Okay. So now if I select 2, because I want to read the notes, whatever it's written in here, whatever it's written here in the notes.txt. So that's why I will select 2. Enter. See here, it's showing the notes. Priyanshi Rathore is a coder and a designer, and Priyanshi create coding as well as fashion designing videos. Right? So I hope you understood. If I select 3, so it will exit. It will not ask anything. It will simply exit. See here. So it exit. Right? So if I again run this code and if I select 5. Okay. So see here what output will come. It is showing invalid choice and try again. Right? And if I want to break this, I will simply select 3. See here, break. Okay, so I hope you understood how to build logic, how to create a mini project. Okay, if you want code, see here, you can screenshot or you can add notes. So I hope you understood. I have already uploaded Java DSA full placement course and the Python course with projects, with interviews, questions. So you can watch that. Java course is in Hindi, but Python course is in English. Okay. And if you have any recommendation, you can comment below. I will upload that videos. And if you are following my Python complete course, then you can take a screenshot of this course and you can upload on your social media and you can tag me. I will repost your post. Okay. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, share with your friends and family so that they can learn Python and improve their coding skills with the help of some great projects. And comment below how you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.